Hello, and welcome to Hanging Out with Jodi. This episode, I'm going to read you a letter that my cousin wrote about protesting peacefully at Donald Trump's rally. I'm going to post the letter below so that you can read it for yourself if you'd like. A Call for Peaceful Protests Against Donald Trump by Benjamin Klopman. Every day, America wakes up to the voice of Donald Trump. He is either appearing live on television or conveniently calling into a show. Often, as he speaks live on one station, you can hear his voice saying unsettling and often untrue things on another station in a pre-recorded interview at the same time. He, or one of his sons, is also regularly on the radio, sometimes being interviewed by an extreme conspiracy theorist or a white supremacist. In these interviews, Trump typically gets free rein to put his spin on an issue or situation which often has no resemblance to the truth. Yet his version goes unchallenged. What Trump is empathetic about is the great number of people coming to his rallies to hear his ramblings, how rich he is, his baseless claim that things are awful in the great United States of America, and how he longs for the days in an imaginary time when one could say hurtful things to one another with impunity and people were tougher so they could take a good beating when disagreements occurred. The print media tries it might to set the record straight, publishes article after article, pointing out the divisiveness of Trump's campaign, the hate Trump spews, the countless lies he tells, and his utter lack of any qualifications to be the president of the greatest nation in the free world. Unfortunately, however, much of America is not reading these important articles or does not care what they say. Sadder I could not be. I find myself asking multiple times a day, how could this be happening in America, a country built on principles of inclusiveness, tolerance, reason, and humility? How could a large minority of persons who once called themselves Republicans be manipulated by a celebrity personality who claims great business success but whose record in this regard is less than stellar, whose great wealth is directly traceable to his father's success in the real estate market in New York, and who offers no solutions to the problems they face? Build a wall is not a solution. It's a simple hot-button expression that Trump purposefully chants to his crowd to rile them up and cause the unhappy working people there to conclude that their problems are caused by undocumented workers, whose numbers, by the way, have been declining for several years. It's not the case about undocumented workers. It is the oldest trick to power in history of mankind scapegoating. It's the Mexicans, it's the Jews, it's the blacks, it's the Muslims. Trump makes his followers feel as if we can only get rid of them, then all will be right in the world. Such an easy and un-American answer. Up until now, though, it seemed that only a small number of people in America ascribed to this type of hateful, divisive scapegoating, which of course is the same dynamic that led to the ascendancy of many evil dictators over the course of history, most notably Adolf Hitler. No doubt, many of other German people that fell prey to the manipulations of this murderous miscreant later wondered how could they have been so duped. I query as to what would happen under a Trump presidency if this crazy wall is ever built and the economy nevertheless tanks under Trump's incompetent handling. Who will be the next group to scapegoat? It seems to me that the world has changed dramatically for the working middle class, and in large measures the economic recovery has not benefited them. What this very crucial issue requires is a real debate by serious people. People who care about others, not themselves. People who know how the government works, and people who believe that the government exists to come up with the solution to help these people. Of all the things Donald Trump is, celebrity, billionaire, if you believe him, deal maker, he does not care a whit about anyone but himself, and he certainly does not know how the government operates to come up with a solution to help the lives of his many followers. The sole purpose of his campaign is to stroke his massive ego. He is a snake oil salesman, and all that he cares about is the sale of himself, not what will happen after the sale. And isn't what happens after the sale all that we and his supporters should care about? So I'm calling on decent Americans today to take whatever action you can to protest peacefully against Donald Trump. When he is in your city, go to his event and get others to go with you to voice your opposition and disagreement with him. There should be no violence. Assemble outside the venue and do not disrupt Trump's First Amendment right to express his message of hate. I believe we have strength in numbers, and a large gathering of peaceful protests outside of each Trump event will show him and the rest of the world that the majority of Americans are decent and that Trump is in no way representative of our views. We cannot allow Trump's stain of hate and stamp of divisiveness to bring down our great country. Sincerely, Benjamin Cloppin. The thought about how disrespectful Trump is and how he's excluding so many people, not really answering questions and not really talking about the issues that Americans are truly facing is kind of scary. So we should protest. We should be supporting a true person who cares about the people and wants to change the issues that are going on in America today. I hope that we can stand for a good person who can really help the world and respects the meaning of human life.